Hey everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome back to 30 Days of Sketches 3. This is the sketch that I'm working with today. It's by Laura Whitaker, who's one of my all-time favorite sketch designers. And I am working with some fun snow photos taken in February. We got quite a large dusting. It was more than a dusting of snow, and it was good that it happened because Jackson was begging for snow and was so upset because we didn't get any, and we really didn't think we were going to have any snow this year, and then we got all of it. It's like we had winter in 2 weeks. It was just insane. And this was Nora's first time being able to play in the snow, and I bundled her up kind of like the little boy in A Christmas Story. It's kind of what she reminded me of, and it was just a lot of fun. They enjoyed it. It was freezing cold, but they had a lot of fun anyways. So that is what the photos are about, and I am going to try to follow this sketch as closely as possible, and I run into a few hiccups, but other than that, it's okay. I am working with another page kit that I kind of set up back earlier in the year to make this 30 Days of Sketches possible without being too stressed out. And this was one that I had just put together a few 6x6 papers that have just kind of randomly been in my stash, but I feel like the colors work really well for a snow, and it kind of reminds me of like that Snow and Cocoa line that was so beautiful. So I went ahead and grabbed that, and I'm going to definitely do the little diagonal at the bottom there. I love that look. One of my favorite looks for layouts. I really love the way that it makes your eye move around the page and all of that. I'll do a little bit of layering on the top photos, and then where I run into some issues is doing the circles for this sketch. I wanted to stitch them because you know me and my stitching, and I start by doing like hand stitching, and then I go into machine stitching, and yeah, it all looks great in the end, but it was a struggle. And I also, however, was thinking, knowing that I want to use this pink paper, that I like the circle effect that little triangle did. So, excuse me, that's not a triangle, that I could create with that little square. So I made it into a little frame for my photo there. And I had another photo. You see I had 4 photos to start with. One of them goes away. You'll see why. But I love the idea of using that frame. It kind of just encased my kids perfectly and took out all the kind of background that was happening. I was taking these photos from inside because Barrett was born at the time, so obviously he couldn't go outside. And so I'm taking them through my window. So they're really far away and then zoomed. So then it's not the best quality photos. And then the 2 that I'm highlighting at the top, I actually quickly got to go outside and take the photos, and then I ran back inside. So that's why I'm making this smaller one kind of even more small, so you don't notice how bad quality it is. So there you see I'm working on the circles for my stitching. I'm going to grab my stuff, figure out what type of circle I want to use. I knew it needed to be large enough. I ran into my kitchen and found a size that I thought was going to work. So I went ahead and did that, and did some machine stitching, and like I said, some hand stitching. And you'll see I also add in a few sequins because you always need a little bling when you're doing a winter type layout. It just kind of helps. And then I wanted a little border to kind of break up the starkness between the teal and the white, and so I'm going to bring in this little piece of scrap that I had. It is old paper and so I just used a little tiny bit so that it broke it up a little bit. And here you can see I'm showing you how I'm planning on stitching in the sequence. I literally am just doing the backhand stitching technique, but every time I come up I add a sequence and then go back in, so that there's a sequin basically in every little area. And I love the look. It definitely helped bring in just a little bit of sparkle, but it's not too overpowering, which was really what I was trying to accomplish. I didn't want it to be too in your face, and I feel like this worked really well. So there you have it. I went ahead and I'm going to layer down my photos where I think they should go, make sure I have everything in place. It was a lot of just doing something, putting it back, taking them away, putting them back. It's kind of the way this layout went. It's not an overly complicated layout by any means. It really isn't. Trying to add in some embellishments that I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to add. And I know I don't love that circle, so I'm still debating what I want to do there. What I end up actually doing is going ahead and adding sequins to that as well, so it kind of hides the hot mess that it is, because it's just quite a hot mess. So I'm going to go through all of my embellishment containers that are my winter and Christmas themed I don't find much. I grabbed a couple of brads that don't even make it onto the layout. What I do end up finding and utilizing are some tags, which worked really well. And that's actually what's going to replace that photo of Sean and Nora that's kind of just hanging out the bottom there. And I love the way that worked because it was a good place for something, because in the sketch you can see kind of a longer photo is meant to be there, and having the square photo really kind of cut it off a little differently. So having the tag there, you'll see, really helps give it the look that I needed for the whole layout to fit as a whole. And then I add a couple more in a few other places, and some chipboard. Chipboard was my friend for this layout. It definitely helped me out. And other than that, really, like I said, it's not like an overly crazy and hard layout. I just was a lot of moving things around, and I didn't cut anything out because I wanted you to see how sometimes things happen. Like, it's not even that I was struggling as much as I just wasn't sure of myself, and I was scrapping this on a day where I had Nora and Barrett home. Jackson was at school, but you're still on a time crunch. Like, you have to I still have to clean the house, and I still have to take care of my kids and make sure they're okay. Nora didn't nap this particular day, if I remember correctly, and so I was really watching her, making sure she wasn't getting into any trouble. Barrett was okay, but he, it's still a baby. Gotta take care of them. And so it's little chunks of time here and there, and when you're not getting the right flow that you're wanting to, it takes you even longer to get into the process of what you're trying to do. So that's really what it was, more so than anything else. I do find some luck in bringing in these gold snowflakes. One isn't actual snowflakes, the other ones are kind of whatever. It is from last year's Christmas line from Crepe Paper. I believe that's what it's from, and I just happened to have them kind of hanging out, so I brought that in, and I used the pre-made word Let It Snow from a thicker pack. That worked perfectly. I didn't have to go through my thickers and try to spell that out. That definitely saved me a little bit of time there. And then again, like I said, I just add a few chipboard pieces, and that basically finishes it off and wraps it up exactly like I wanted it to. Of course, when I added all of that stuff, I thought I had recorded it, and I didn't. It went missing. So you're going to see me point it all out, and then you'll see the finished layout. So I do hope that you enjoyed this one. Remember, if you want to play along, just use my hashtag 30DSCBL3, and you can play along with all of them. You can see it through Pinterest, and Instagram is where I keep all my sketches. So there is a look at my final layout, and I'll see everyone tomorrow with another fun sketch and another fun layout. Bye!